helps you, it reaches you, it touches you, share it because it's bound to help somebody else. And I greatly appreciate that effort. What I want to talk about today is that the world is not falling apart. It's falling together. And this is just an interesting statement. It just kind of popped into my head. I've been doing a lot of personal work and self-work with other healers. And the other day I was shown or told about the idea of a chessboard. And because there's all kinds of stuff going on in my life right now, and I'm going to share some of that with you, because I think when we share with each other what's going on directly in our own lives, it makes you realize, hey, like either my stuff isn't quite that bad or I've got it a ton worse, and you can look at it however you want to look at it. But it makes you go, oh, wow, I'm not in this boat alone, right? This is going on globally. It's a planet-wide effort at this point to increase and upgrade. And when you realize the world isn't falling apart, that it's actually falling together, and you figure out ways, you understand ways to actually promote peace within yourself, it promotes peace around the globe. And that's kind of what I'm talking about here. This idea of the chessboard was really, really amusing to me. So the guy I was talking to told me, he goes, think of your life right now as a chessboard. You've been playing a game of chess, basically, right? It's his move, it's your move, it's their move, it's your move. It's another move, it's your move. And he goes, the game is over. The king is dead. You keep trying to revive the queen. Stop. The game is over. He's got his own chessboard now. She's got her own chessboard now. They've got their own chessboard now. Let them play a game of chess. And you don't have to be in the chess game. The sense of peace I got from that message was so huge. It blew my mind. I can be a part of life, a part of their life, a part of someone's life, a part of however you want to look at this, and I'll tell you some stories here in a second, and not be on the chessboard, right? This is how to be in a state of neutrality and how to stay in a state of peace, and this is really what it all comes down to when you think about it. You have to figure out ways to, right, get your now moment so solid and your I am so bright, right? Your spirit light so bright that none of this affects you. And that's really the way I try to live my life. So the world's not falling apart. In my world right now, what's going on? I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of everything that's happened this week so far. And not in the order that it occurred, but just in like what's coming out of my mind right now. First of all, my mom's been in a nursing home since probably almost the beginning of COVID. Was placed in it for a lot of reasons and remains to be there. Now has COVID. 2 nights ago fell down, cracked her head, broke her spine at T7, right? Big mess. And she's had multiple injuries and issues for years and years. This is unfortunately, nothing out of the ordinary. And so that happened. So we're kind of dealing with that. And there's a whole situation surrounding that that's part of all of this stuff. My son had a blow up, years and years and years of things going on with this kid. Hip replacement at 17 years old, heart trouble, issues from birth, and just on and on. It's a huge, long, right? And part of my bipolar disorder was his emotional up and downs and me trying to regulate those in my own system, right? We do this as humans, right? Especially parent-child relationships. And so there was that. Blew up, huge blow up, cussed us all out, told us this, that, and the other thing, F-bomb, F-bomb. And it was like, oh man, my chess game is over. My chess game is done. And, go live your life, go do your thing, right? So out of our house he goes. And so huge changes. And then found out via, I don't know how I found out. Somehow it came across, and then another person started actually sending me, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? Instagram. A daughter, and I've talked about this stuff multiple times, that has not spoken to me probably for 6 years because of issues in finances and issues with her husband and things that had gone on that were never resolved because they refused to talk, is now pregnant, right? And so everybody's like, oh no, did you know? Did you know? And I'm like, hey, good for her. That's her deal. This is her life now. That's her chessboard. That's not my chessboard, right? And people will look at me and say, hey, you know, that's kind of like you're kind of emotionless. No, I'm at peace, right? Peace is an emotion, and you have to start recognizing this as part of your internal makeup. That is what your spirit does. It's not something you go do or something you generate or something you cause to happen. Your spirit is peace, and when you reside in that place, it's just what you've got. It's just a level of peace. And so, you know, somebody will look at me and go, wow, you just have no emotion to this. What do you mean to do? Get upset and cry and be like, ah, right? Or you're stuffing your emotions. No, I'm living in a state of my spirit, and it allows for this level of peace. All right, does that make sense? I want to share with you an email that I actually just got this morning, literally. And what she said was, thank you so much, Christy, for being with me last night. So I had a little session, a private session with this lady last night. She goes, so much released. I'm so grateful for you and to you. And I'm not reading this to you trying to boost myself. I want you to hear what she said in this. The biggest, most profound realization surfaced. My life is changed, right? So it's a gifting that I have to be able to pull things forward and be able to help people move their issues. And she says, you're so gifted, and I received that, and I thank you for that. She says, and I thank you for sharing your week with me. So I was sharing all this stuff with her last night. She goes, as you spoke, I witnessed such a steady, brilliant light inside of you that was so healing. Peace is healing. The peace that passes all understanding is such a healing place to be. All right, and what it did for her, she says, is it reminded me that I too can know who I am in any situation that arises. Thank you for my whole being. This is the part, this is the key right here. It reminded me that I too can know who I am. And so I am, meaning I know who I am from my spirit state, but I am also being the I am that I am. It is that state of peace. It is the state of the higher evaluation of emotional regulation, right? And it's something you are, not something that you, right? You have to get into that space where you can feel it and become it, but it's not something you have to like create outside of you. Does this make sense? Right? So in any situation that arises, and this is exactly what I'm doing, and this is what I want you to understand, is that when you are in this place of peace, things will happen. Life is going to keep happening. People will think, I'm going to go on a journey. I'm going to start this process. I'm going to work to do all these things and get this stuff done in my life and change and blah, 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 blah. And they forget that spirit part of themselves. When things happen around you and you are in your spirit self, you are in that light form of you, and you're keeping your focus on that, everything will keep happening. The world's going to keep churning and burning and doing whatever it does, and you're going to sit there in peace. You're going to be in joy. You're going to giggle at things when you say them just because it's joy bubbling up, right? You're in love with the surrounding, even though the surrounding looks yucky and icky from a normal eye standpoint, like you're seeing with your eyes. The I am doesn't see it that way, right? I teach people and I train people this thought, and it's actually a phrase that my spirit gave me. I witness myself as light. I witness you as light. And when I approach people, I approach them in that attitude, and I use those words. I witness myself as light. I witness you as light. And when I witness that, I can't see your brokenness. I can't see your brokenness, even though it's broken, right? And this is the idea of the chessboard. What's going on the chessboard? You're moving and shuffling and playing all these games. No, get off the chessboard. Don't do that to yourself anymore. Stay in your heart, stay centered, get into that place where you recognize, I know who I am. I know who I am in capital letters, capital I, capital A, capital M. I am that I am, a Yah, Ashura Yah. This is what it was meant to be, I believe, in the original construction, and somehow it got hidden, it got pushed aside, we got knocked over. It's time to stand it back up. All right? In this period of time, in this period of great change and great openings, the world is being created. It's falling together again. It is not falling apart. All right? I want to bless you in this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. I bless me. I bless you. I witness myself as light. I witness you as light. If you want more of my information, please check below. I am running a course called Beyond Heart Coherence, and this is where it takes you. This is some of the stuff it does. Thank you again for being here.